Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today to share with you my TBR or my to be read pile for February 2020. So let's dive right in. So as I mentioned last month, my TBR videos are not going to contain a bunch of books like you'll see a lot of time on BookTube. Instead, I'm going to focus in on just a handful of books that I really hope to get to during the month. I want to have room for flexibility throughout my month because I feel like my reading tastes are on such a whim. One day I'll feel like reading about dinosaurs like I am right now, and then the next day I want to go back to horror, I want to go to something sci-fi or fantasy, who knows. So I want to keep room in my month for those whims that I have throughout the month. But this month I am pushing that a little bit because I do have one extremely long novel that I'm trying to fit in, along with a couple of not short novels, but regular sized novels. So we'll see where it takes me, but this is the goal, at least, for February 2020. First up is going to be the finale of a series I started reading at the end of last year, and it is The Babysitter 4 by R.L. Stine. I talked about The Babysitter 3 last month, and so I finished that last month, which I'll talk about in my wrap-up video, and you should see a review on Cinefessions.com for Babysitter 3, so check that out. If you've not seen it, I am going to spoil my thoughts on that a little bit here. Not the book itself, just my thoughts. I really enjoyed Babysitter 3, and I was really surprised by how much I liked it. It went in a completely different direction that I wasn't expecting, and so I'm really curious where in the hell Babysitter 4 is going to go, because what they do with Babysitter 3 is so interesting that I can't imagine Babysitter 4 is going to top it. Babysitter 4, I've not read the synopsis because I don't want to know even who the main character is or anything. I just want to go in blind, but Babysitter 4 is one that I really hope to finish up in February, and one that, again, I will review once I do complete it, so that my thoughts on all 4 books in this series will be available on Cinefessions.com, hopefully by the end of February. The next 3 books on my list, I own 2 out of the 3 in physical form, but I do plan on completing these in audiobook form. So the first one I want to talk about is the one I don't own a physical copy of, and that is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This is one that is obviously a classic in its genre. It's one I've been wanting to read for a very long time now, and I'm in a dinosaur mood. I am currently reading The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaur, and it's a nonfiction book, and so I figured what better way to supplement this nonfiction book than to follow it up with the sci-fi classic Jurassic Park. So this is one that I'm really excited to get to. I've heard really great things about it, so let's give it a shot. So Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. If there is a book that's going to fall off this month, this will likely be it. But I'm really hoping I can get to all 3 of these audiobooks I'm talking about, along with the other stuff I'm going to talk about today. So we'll see what happens. The next audiobook I hope to complete this month is The Martian by Andy Weir. And I actually talked about this in my holiday media pickup video. So check that out if you're interested in seeing what else I grabbed around the holiday time. But this is one that I've seen the film. I loved it. This was also on my 5-star predictions video, which I just remembered. And so this is one I'm really hoping I'm going to enjoy. Of course, it is about a man who gets stranded on Mars, basically. And I won't say anything more than that. I'm sure you know what it's about because it's quite popular. But it's a nice thick one. Not super long like the next one I'm going to talk about, but it's long enough. So I'm really excited for this one. This is another one, like I said, I'm going to finish it on audiobook because I recently picked it up on Audible. It was a daily deal sometime last week, I believe it was. So I got it for like $4 on audiobook. So I figured, why not? I own the physical copy. I paid like 50 cents for this from Salvation Army, so I don't feel bad spending an extra $3 or $4, whatever it was, for the audiobook version, which I know I'll actually complete. So Andy Weir's The Martian is another book I hope to complete in February. Whew! And now for the big honkin' one. So this month, I've talked about it in the past. You can see I have the Blu-ray of it right here. I bought it for my wife for Christmas. Have not watched it yet because I need to finish the book. And so I need to start the book before I can finish the book. And that's what I hope to do this month. So this is another one that I own on audiobook thanks to Audible. I bought it a long time ago and just haven't listened to it yet. Not a long time ago. I bought it sometime last year and haven't listened to it quite yet. But this one clocks in at well over 1,100 pages, 1,135 pages, and it is like a 28 or 29 hour audiobook, I believe. So this one is going to take me a couple weeks, I imagine, because I do a lot of driving, so it shouldn't take too terribly long, but it will take me at least a couple weeks, but I'm really excited about it. This one is so famous that it doesn't even have like the synopsis of the book at the front. It just talks about how this is the complete and uncut edition, which I'm 99.9% certain that that's what the audiobook is as well. If not, I won't know the difference, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so Stephen King's The Stand is one big tome I hope to topple this month. Next up on my list is The Wicked and the Divine, and this is book 1. So this contains issues 1 through 11, and it's the hardcover. This one I actually rented from the library because I ain't spending that much money on it. I actually have read volume 1 of this series, and I enjoyed it well enough, but I didn't continue on for whatever reason. And so one of the websites I follow pretty closely is called Comics Bookcase, and they are doing a weekly reread. They just finished up their Saga reread, and now they're doing a Wicked and Divine reread. So each week, the person that is writing these articles reads one of the issues and then writes about it. And so I decided I wanted to kind of follow along with that. And even though this is mostly not going to be a reread for me, at least the first few issues will be, and then I can continue on. I think right now there are 4 or 5 books out, and I know it's still a continuing series as far as I know, but this one, so if you don't know what The Wicked and the Divine is about, I'm just going to read the back real quick because I think it explains it well. Every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So that's what this one's about. It's a really interesting story, and it's done quite well. The art, did I already show this? The art is really good. It's done extremely well. And so I want to give it another shot to see if maybe it hooks me a little bit more in the second time through. And I also want to try to get through all this. 11 issues is not much for most people. I only do maybe an issue a night, so I'm hoping I can get through this along with the other physical book and the other graphic novel that I'm about to talk about, but I'm hoping I can get through it all. If not, I at least want to start on this one and see how far I get. So The Wicked and the Divine, book 1, which contains issues number 1 through 11 of the Wicked and the Divine series, is another one I hope to get to in February. The 6th and final book on my February TBR is, I believe you would call this Bottom Feeders, BTTM-FDRS, and this one is written by Ezra Clayton Daniels and Ben Passmore. So this one ended up on the Comics Bookcase's top 10 standalone graphic novel lists of 2019, and they described it as body horror. It's a sci-fi body horror, which, sign me up. That is exactly what I love. So I was super interested to check it out. The art style reminded me of something that I saw, or that I read last year, and it's a book called Upgrade Soul. So I actually filmed this a second ago. I couldn't remember, so I had to do another take, and turns out it's the same author, that Ezra Clayton Daniels. And so therefore that explains why it looks similar and why it's also body horror, because Upgrade Soul definitely had elements of body horror in it as well. So now that I know that, which I just found out seconds ago, I am super excited for this. This is another one I picked up from the library. And so I know I'm going to get through this one pretty quickly because of, it's like his last book. This is an example of the most words you'll see on a page. But yeah, Bottom Feeders by Ezra Clayton Daniels and Ben Passmore is another one I hope to read in February. All right, so that is going to do it for the books I plan to read in February of 2020. So just a recap, we have book 1 of The Wicked and the Divine. We have Bottom Feeders. We have The Babysitter 4, The Martian, Stephen King's The Stand, and the only one not pictured here is Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. So those are the 6 books I hope to complete in February. We'll see where the month takes me. The Stand might put a little bit of a damper on things, but I'm hoping not. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more. If not, thank you anyway for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments below, what books are you planning to read for February? Or what video games are you playing? What movies are you watching? What music are you listening to? Whatever. What media are you consuming in the month of February? Or at least planning to. Alright, so that's going to do it for today. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll catch you next time. I got spit on my mic. Why is there spit on my mic?